Good morning from the garden. My name is Robin. I garden in Zone 6 in Northwest Connecticut. Are you tired of hearing me say that already? So it's the end of the season. It's time to get the garden cleaned up and prepared for winter. Yesterday I shot a bunch of video, but there were so many lawnmowers and leaf blowers going that the video is completely useless. So I'm going to do the best I can today to at least show you what we're doing. We're cleaning out all the pots. We're getting all the dahlias cut and washed and dried. We're getting bulbs in the ground. We have probably 1,400 bulbs between tulips, daffodils, crocuses, hyacinths, fritillaria, muscari, you name it, you know. I've done a very organized plan of where I want to put things. I paid a lot of attention to Fergus Garrett in his talk about underplanting, and I really been studying all year where there are areas that I can put bulbs that will come back year after year. Now tulips, I use tulips as annuals, and I actually may still do some of mine in containers like I did last year. I still have a lot of trouble with voles, but things like crocuses, I'm putting them in the ground, but I'm actually going to try to throw some blood meal and some small stones around some of the bulbs that I think the voles will go for. And if I am putting any tulips in the ground, I'm going to do the same thing. Everything will get bulb tone. And other than that, I think we have pretty much finished cutting back the perennials that need to be cut back. It's still a great time to plant. Today, it's like 60 degrees, which is crazy considering it was 18 the other day. And, you know, so you still have time to get out in your garden, do things. I have roses that are all blooming. So we haven't, you know, put everything to bed yet, but slowly but surely trying to get on top of all those daily things. So please subscribe, hit that like button. It really does make a difference. And any questions you have, please feel free to ask me. I try to answer every comment. Let's get to doing some work, because boy, we're running out of time as far as my being able to have help. So my husband's here with me today. We're going to try, and I'm going to put him on the auger. I'm going to plant, and hopefully we can knock this stuff out, and then I will show you. I did some of the dahlias yesterday. I pulled them out, I washed them, and I put them in my greenhouse covered with a frost cloth to let them dry. I'll probably leave them till tomorrow. I want to make sure they're really dry. There's no mold. And I think I took off all the really damaged tubers. I'm not saving every single one that I had. If something didn't grow well this year, I had all my dahlias, if you remember, in pots. They filled the pots completely with roots, but they didn't grow great. But again, I have so much trouble with rabbits and voles. I usually always start them in pots, because otherwise the rabbits when they're little, the rabbits just nip them right off. And you can only be out with deer spray or whatever, you know, so many nights a week. But voles, you know, you're not planting these deep enough. So for tulips, I'm going to plant them really deep. I know I heard Monty Don say something about, you know, the deeper you plant a tulip, the stronger and straighter a stem will be. So I'm going to try and go really deep on my tulips. Again, I use tulips as annuals. So let's see. I have one or two that I left in the ground last year. I have some labella pox that I left in the ground last year. And I also have some, and I don't know the right way to say it, sorry, Colorblends, Goodishik. It's a beautiful double tulip. I left that in the ground, so it'll be interesting to see if that actually comes back. All my bulbs are here. I get most of my tulips and other bulbs from Colorblends right here in Connecticut. Thank you, Colorblends. And I did get some this year from Brent and Becky, some from Rosengard, and some from Longfield also. So in case you're looking, now at this point, it's probably kind of late, but you might try big box stores. They usually have them. Costco usually sells Longfield bulbs, so you might get them there. Home Depot. I don't really go to Lowe's. It's not right around me, but Home Depot also usually has bulbs. So you might still be able to pick up some. So let's get to work. And I'll take you along as much as I can, but we definitely got to get some stuff done. And I'm going to go through and I'm actually going to show you my plans and exactly where everything went, but I'm not going to show you my planting of all 1,400 bulbs. I'm sure you're going to appreciate that, especially for the person who said, could you speed that video up? You feel free to speed a video up. I have no issue with that. Great. Thank you. Keep watching and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, so I'm going to go through each one of these separately on my computer. But as you can see, I've made a plan of exactly what is going to be going in each one of the beds. So the bed where I have my hibiscus, the Summerific Perfect Storm, I also have some poppies, I have some phlox, I have nepeta, and I have a mum. So what am I adding to that? I'm adding some tulips, Menton tulips, or Monton as Monty Don says. And then I've got some Purple Sensation alliums that are going to go in there. So this is our plan. I've got all the areas of my garden that things are going in, all mapped out, all ready to go. So I'm hoping we're going to be able to knock this out 1, 2, 3 so I can get back to the dahlias. I'll bring you along for as much as we can, but at some point you kind of just have to get the job done. So I'll show you these close up, like I said, when I get back to my computer and the job is done. Thanks. First bed we did was our service berry bed, where we added some variety of crocuses and some daffodils. So let's get to planting. First up, I'm going to be planting some more daffodils. This is tete-a-tete. So let me quickly say, you always want to, if you can, plant with the root side down, the pointy side up. Now, I saw Nicole from Flower Hill Farm. She planted 10,000 bulbs yesterday. And she just threw them in a pile and they all came up last year. So if you don't get, your tulips in the right direction, don't fret. I'm sure they'll come up. But if you can, and you're just doing them a few at a time, try to get them standing up like this. So let's get these planted. So the next bed was our lilac bed in the front, where we already have some existing labella pox. I added another 100, and agreed to doubles on both sides of the walkway. And some more daffodils to help maybe with the critters keeping away from the tulips. So here I plan that the catmint will cover the dying tulip leaves. The next bed we tackled was our apple tree bed. So we already have a lot of tulips and other bulbs in this bed. Dordone, I added some more. Queen of Night is already existing. I have lots of Camasias in here. I have some hyacinths, Gypsy Queen, some Mascari, some Fritillaria persica. Again, the Nepeta, Walker's Low, will cover the tulips and the Mascari and the hyacinths. I have a lot of daylilies in this bed, but I added 20 gladiators. So hopefully this gives you an idea of, again, just my thinking of how I was planning on what I was underplanting. I tried to make myself a plan so I wasn't just nilly-willy trying to figure out where 1,000+ bulbs were going. Another bed was where my Abies concolor is. So I have some barberry, I have some big pinky winkies, I have some grasses, I have Conchodora lilies, Atlas roses. So I added in some fierce hyacinth mix and some drumstick alliums. I think I did leave some tulips in here, the Goodishnicks, or Schicks, Goodishicks. I'm not sure if they're going to come back. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So let's get another bed planted up. Next up was the areas on either side of the greenhouse. I just call this the extension bed. So I already have Mount Everest alliums in there. I added some more. I added some hyacinths, fierce mix, and I put in some blushing lady. With the tulips, I put rocks around them, again, to helpfully deter voles. It turned out that our blood meal was full of bugs, so we couldn't use it after this. We also already have Sir Winston Churchill's in this area, daffodils, but I added another 25. I absolutely love that little daffodil. Now the other side of the greenhouse where our new flamethrower redbud tree is. I do have some Bella Estrella daffodils in there from last year, but with digging in this new tree and putting in a new thuya and the Still Be Dark Side of the Moon, I'm not sure how many are left. So I added some hyacinths, Woodstock variety. I thought I had more of these, and some Purple Sensation alliums in this area. I love this new tree. I'm so excited about this. So onward and upward. we tackled the area around the air conditioning unit, and we have a beautiful Japanese maple over there. I also have a lot of daylilies in this area, mostly yellow, some pink. I have some mountain mint, some nepeta. So I added some Princess Irene tulips here and some Purple Sensation alliums, and also a few tete-a-tete daffodils in this area. So I'm really looking for, some early, very early, mid, and late varieties in all of these beds to kind of bridge the gap between the seasons is the idea. So hopefully you're finding some of this interesting. I didn't photograph every single bed planting because obviously it got to be a little bit much, but I'm hoping this gives you an idea. So let's start planting this one. So I'll try and quickly review the rest of the plants. So this is the area where I have my peonies in the front of my house. So I added some Purple Sensation alliums, Copper Image tulips. I put the tete-a-tete daffodils in and around the Copper Image tulips, so hopefully the voles will leave them alone. I also planted a whole bunch of Delnashaw daffodils. I also have those in another area by my magnolia. But I have a variety of peonies in this area: Coral Charm, Canary Brilliance, Festiva Maxima, Sarah Bernhardt. So I have quite a few different ones here. Then the area underneath my 9-barks, I have some Acorus Ogon that I planted. I have some euphorbias, I have some wee white hydrangeas. So I put in a bunch of tricolor crocuses, some leucogyms, some winter wolfsbane. So there's a whole bunch of variety in and around there, which should look gorgeous with the 9-barks in the spring. Right out front by our driveway, we have a really beautiful Salix Hakura Nishiki. And I put in a ton of the tete-a-tete daffodils and a Mascari mix over here. So that should be really welcoming in the spring. In the front yard, I have a Sensation Yellow Magnolia. So in this area, I already have a lot of Delnashaw daffodils and a lot of other mixed variety daffodils. I am adding some Snake's Head Fritillary and some Purple Sensation hyacinths. In the spring, I want to add some more Eucomis pineapple lilies into this area. I think it'll look nice. I also have yellow daylilies right there. Also in the front yard where my hibiscus is, a summerific hibiscus, I have a variety of tulips that I've put in there and some more hyacinths and some more daffodils. I have a centerpiece mum in here, a perennial mum. I have backlight phlox, luminary phlox. So I added some more tete-a-tete daffodils, and I just planted some Patty's plum poppies. Now, as it turns out, in the same area, the hibiscus, I actually had to turn around and plant these things that I was going to put underneath my heritage river birches, but the roots were just massive. So in the area of the hibiscus and my spirea ogons and amsonias in the front, I added all Paul Scherer tulips, Slawa tulips, and some winter wolfsbane in this area. Quite a few different things. Unfortunately, I just couldn't get them where I wanted them. Moving on to the backyard, the hawthorn area already has some alliums in it, but I added some more gladiators and some more pinball wizards into this bed. Now I'm actually still waiting for my new Stewardia, where the catalpa broke earlier this year. I'm going to put in some Flaming Prince tulips. I might put those in a container. I have tons of Globemaster alliums in there already, and I'm adding some Hocus Crocus crocuses and some Atropurpureum alliums. Again, planning for the dying foliage of the alliums and the tulips. I have Nepeta, I have daylilies, I have salvia, I have astilbe, chocolate shogun. So I have a lot of things in this bed to cover up the dying leaves. I will link below this video the previous video that I did showing you exactly what bulbs I ordered, where I talked about all the different varieties, so if you wanted to check something out. So in my little river birch bed, I added some purple allium sensations and Tommy's crocuses. So the Tommy's crocuses went down where the drops of Jupiter are underneath the tree, and the purple alliums went up by the Veronicastrum and the Betony. And we're almost at the end, the Dawn Redwood area. I have some really large hostas, Crossa Regal and Regal Splendor. I added a bunch of Galanthus snowdrops, some crocuses, Pickwick and Hocus Crocus, and some tete-a-tete daffodils here also. And last but not least, in my new bed, my pine bed in the back, I'm adding some Sarah Raven and some Sane tulips. Those will go in containers. Some tete-a-tete daffodils, some purple allium, purple sensation alliums, and some Tommy's crocuses. Again, I have a lot of geranium, Roseanne, and Bevan's variety in this area, daylilies. Those things will all cover all of this stuff. So again, think about what's going to cover the dying leaves, and think about mid-spring, or early spring, mid-spring, and late spring. So you have a variety of things in the bed to take you from winter all the way to when spring flowers start blooming.